Hi there, sharing some ideas. Ideal couple, perfect couple. Idealism is not a monopoly, is not a property of anybody. In our life we have been programmed to see perfection a certain way or idealism a certain way. If it is known, then it's not ours. Idealism, if it is known, perfection, if it is known, it's not ours. It was offered, so we are borrowing. If we borrow, which means that's not ours. We have to pay interest for it when we return it. Idealism, perfection, is the potential of every human being. If she knows how to, work for it or to contribute to it. Talking about a couple. There is a table of togetherness in this life. A table of togetherness, that means table is ready, where a man and a woman have to put something on that table. In our life, again, before the relationship or any relationship between man and a woman, we think about how she must be, how she should be. She should be this way, she must be. She have to be that way. She has to be, she needs to be, she needs to have, he has. Reciprocal, he has to be this way, I need him to be that way, he has to behave that way. When he comes, he should carry that thing, This is what is said about us in life. That's how we are. We fail to understand that this table of togetherness, I don't contribute, I don't put anything on it, but I want it to be ready. Does it really cross the rational mind that the table is going to come by itself like this from heaven? I don't put anything on the table and I have to find it ready. And she doesn't put anything on the table and she has to find it ready. That's a part of our weakness, perhaps. Why I'm looking for that perfection idealism that is visualized, it so far is just a specter. It's just mirage. I don't contribute, I don't put anything, I don't sacrifice, and I want that perfection to be ready. Where is it coming from? Before that, prior to that, there is what we call an introspection. Introspection, perhaps I exaggerate, but I pointed my eyes inwardly to see inside. The word introspection is to analyze. Outside is an inspection with the naked eye, but inside is an introspection to analyze in reality, to see, what is right, what is wrong, what has to be done, what is missing. But in my case, when it comes to relationship, no, I'm just gathering my faculties, talents, faculties, all of my qualities, only qualities. I don't have anything bad. And I shape them, decorate them, sculpture with all in my, my mind. And then what is missing from these internal admiration or a super admiration or the idolatry, I have to find it in the opposite sex. Do we have the right to call this togetherness? I don't know. I don't call it togetherness. I don't call it togetherness. Relationship, togetherness, is not how much I am perfect. How much I stand down from my perfection to give space to the other one. How much I lower myself to allow the other one to have, because the other one has a space inside me. Same thing, I have space in the other person. Getting back to idealism. Perfection. Perfection, idealism, is not from the acquired. It is from the innate. And it's not one-time snapshot. The innate, that something is intrinsic, is a part of me. I'm going to get to that shortly. The innate, the perfection is there. If I contribute, I develop that. It's not from the acquired. The acquired is lucky. That's an architecture. That's an architecture outside. It doesn't belong to me. But perfection, idealism is a part of the innate. Innate. In our case, am I really a man before I'm looking for a woman? Am I really a woman before I look for a man? What are the characteristics of a man? Well, we have a man everywhere, you know what I'm saying? You don't have a woman everywhere. Well, we have a man with the capital letter, we have a man with the minuscule letter. A man is known by man when he has these testosterones, when you speak about the hormones. Some people don't like this. Yeah. Both of them, they carry testosterone and estrogen. But the balance in man, testosterones are high, very high. That represents masculinity. Estrogen in women is higher than testosterones. Here you can speak about complementarity. We're not talking about perfection, gentleness, flowers. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about nature, predisposed nature. A water is a symbol of life. Is a symbol of life. We say H2O. When we say H2O in chemistry, that means 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. The man, we're not talking about when they join, we're not talking about superiority, inferiority, we're talking about complementarity. If this H2 fails to maintain that status, there will be no togetherness. If the O fails to maintain that status, there will be no togetherness. There will be clashes. Getting back to the table of togetherness. Why I want to see table full, but I don't contribute? Why is that? As a matter of fact, there is a story about the table in the Quran. The children of Israel asked Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, is your God able to send down a table full of food for us such so that we can eat and to be happy in this? Why? It's not our topic, getting to our topic. Why they want to put God under an experiment? And why is that? They try to understand the Creator intellectually. And then they couldn't contribute to this table of lordship with worship. We don't say together. It is a togetherness. It is a duonomy, by the way. It is a togetherness, yet lordship, worship, when they did not maintain the status of servitude, that's why they crossed the line and they went to test God and to say, is he able to send down a table? They couldn't, you don't understand his existence unless you maintain the status, your virgin nature, which is servitude. You are only intellectualizing with the information, this universe, this existence. Getting back to our table of togetherness, because I couldn't contribute to the table of togetherness, that's why I'm exaggerating and imposing myself. Now, getting short, quickly. For the man, now, how to contribute? What are you going to put? What? Mashed potato with steak before you put anything. As a matter of fact, the contribution is itself an abstention. Abstention, what do you mean abstention to? It's not an obtention, it's an abstention. Is it just one day? I say idealism is one day, snapshot, take a picture, that's it, we have a beautiful, no. You know, again, we are saying this, it's a little far, I know, it's idealism, but idealism is your property, is your potential property, work for it. And we're talking about women because the woman she is the access to the universe, to life. Unlike man today with the minuscule letter, lowercase letter, they see her as a chick. Well, because he is a chick. You understand? A woman was not meant for that. The woman was the idealism of life, the perfection of the paradise, a condition to the pleasure of paradise. Yeah, yet, how come man doesn't see her that way? Because he fails to maintain his status, that's why. Anyway, getting back to this abstention. How many women you have respected in your life? You have provided this was so-called, gallantry. How many women, if you are Mr. Galahad, or the White Knight, or the Galahad in the middle of a desert, well, here you are in the middle of city. How many women you have respected without restriction of age? Because if you do so, that's no longer gallantry. That's hypocrisy. Old, small. How many women you have respected? Goes. How many women you have respected? I repeat this. The file, it's like you send the file, you click, transmit the file. Or like download, it's like this, and it goes where? Some call them angels, call them whatever, when they manufacture your Esmeralda. They are manufacturing her. You try to be a negligent person, humiliating, whatever, she is ready for you. How many women you have abstained? Reciprocal is indeed evident. The pleasure is in you before you meet her. Pleasure is in you before you meet him. Now, abstention. Okay, and say a few words. I hope I won't be misunderstood, like the singers say. Please don't let me be misunderstood. Who? When a woman is everywhere, she becomes nowhere. Or the place where she's supposed to be, she will cease to exist in the where. When the sex is everywhere, the place where it's supposed to be, it will cease to exist in a place where it's supposed to be. What does that mean? We're going to put her like in a sanctuary or some kind of penitentiary? No. She's the beauty of life if she is everywhere. If she wants to underestimate herself with seduction, she's making herself low. But if she is everywhere, let her be. It's the responsibility of the man to put her in the where and not everywhere. This is the contribution. You understand? Is the man who has a license plate, a car with the license plate hit and run, the journey of life between the age of puberty all the way to his marriage, jeopardizing all the journey, and he wishes to see like the future perfection in marriage. How can that be? I said in the beginning, perhaps I forgot to say it, before you think about anything in life, cure, solution, remedy, idealism, be sincere with yourself. You're not sincere, nothing will help you. Counselors, whatever, you are wasting your time. That's not true. Be honest, be sincere with yourself. As I said, the man who is putting a woman everywhere in terms of not having the respect of admiration, not having the respect of leaving a space between the podium of the scene and the podium of the obscene. And then he said, I want her to be perfect, and I don't find the pleasure with this woman. It's just strange with the couples today. He doesn't say something is wrong with me. He says something is wrong with her, and she said the same thing, something is wrong with him. To contribute to this relationship, you have a whole process, and it's not one day. Now, the beauty of this person, they tell you, the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Well, a man or a woman. He has to be muscular, and he has to be this, and she has to be that, and the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. This expression is a part of the consumer-producer system. And I'm sorry to say it, I know 1000% will disagree with me. The beauty is in the eyes and is in the heart of the abstainer. And you know what I mean. As much as you abstain and you respect, the multiplicity of women, as much as you find Esmeralda always getting prettier and prettier. A man, a noble man, is a man who feels he shows his inadequacy in front of a woman, not because he is inadequate, no, because he needs his complementarity to women. And a woman, a noble woman, is the one that shows her she needs that man no matter how rich you are. And you have the Jaguar parked in a driveway, and you have a boat probably in here, like a yacht in the sea. Well, listen, that's extrinsic, but your nature, if you can maintain that, to have a husband, that's a noble woman. It's not, this is extrinsic. Life. The life, a whole life, will be beautiful when this complementarity is existing. I think. Listen, I know I exaggerate sometimes, but it's always pleasure. May the Lord open every door of prosperity to you and your